leaving these data-based questions. 2-marker questions, mostly you will find they are case study based. But when we talk about the data-based questions, more or less 0.5 marker is the particular category which you can target. Then multiple statement-based questions, either they are asked in 2-marker or 1-marker as well. Why I'm telling you all these things, I hope you will be able to comprehend it really well after I will be discussing your 4 modules. Then we have formula-based questions. Again, students have this particular doubt also whether formula-based questions are asked or not in PPB. So yes, good amount of formula-based questions are asked. We have seen in some exam cycles 15 to 20% of the paper pertains to the numerical questions. And lastly, the real life examples, from there also questions are being asked. You being a banker must know this thing, that principles and practices of banking solely talks about what you have learned in the banks. Okay, so module A, it is dedicated for the deposits. Module B, dedicated towards the advances section. Module C talks about the digital banking, and for that matter, you can say the internet banking as well, the alternate delivery mechanisms. Lastly, the module D talks about ethics. So overall, when we see module A, B, and C, we directly can relate it with the day-to-day banking. Okay, so real life based questions, it is obvious that from here, good amount of questions will be asked. And where you should focus upon while studying the PPB subject, focus on regulations, the reporting authority, what are the timelines. These are very, very important. Again, I'm reiterating this fact that if you are new towards this subject, PPB, try to learn minimum, try to understand minimum amount of data, but try to apply as much as possible. This is the approach which you should follow from the first day itself, right? And approach which can lead to good marks will be that focus on some important modules. There are 2 very, very important modules, module A and B, from where more than 50% of your syllabus or the 50% of the questions will be asked. Fine. In total, in PPB, we have 55 chapters, and out of that, 41 units are there when we club the syllabus of module A and module B. That is the importance of your A and B module. Okay, so module A talks about journal banking operations. As I was just telling you, it is just the deposits aspect of our bank, functions of banks. We talk about the advances section. Obviously, there will be certain fringe topics also, like here we have the forex, fine, and certain acts also, fine. Certain acts are also there. Here again, in advances section, we have divided the fund-based, non-fund-based facilities also. But overall, when we talk about the theme, if you have to catch the theme of module A, it will be the deposits section of the bank. Module B, it will more or less lie in the advances section of the bank. Then we have banking technology. Mostly the questions from the latest technologies will be asked, but we have to approach from the basics, how the technology was integrated in our banking system, and later on we will be learning the latest norms as well. Lastly, module D talks about ethics in banks and financial institutions. See, when the syllabus was revised for PPB, it was seen that maximum case study based questions were asked from here, ethics in banks and financial institutions. But later on, in the 2024 exam cycle as well as in 2025 exams also, we have seen good amount of case studies from module B also. So what is the importance of your module D? From here, 2-marker questions will be asked, and you can maximize your score via module D. That is the prime importance of your module D. And since it is not data heavy, more understanding is required here. So you can fetch 100% marks also in module D. Right? So examiner can confuse you via difficult questions here, but the interpretation, if you have the interpretation skills which are required for solving the questions, then easily you can score 100 out of 100% in the module D. Okay, so this is just an overview. and what should be your preference for the modules. So first of all, try to cover module A, then B, then C and D. That should be your preference order as well, because more or less we have seen in the past that maximum questions are asked from A and B, then we have questions from C and then from D. Okay, now let's see one by one the important topics, or for that matter the approach which you need to follow for module A, then B, then C and then D. Okay, in the meantime, if you have any doubt, feel free to ask me any kind of doubt you have. Okay. So, module A talks about the journal banking operations. In journal banking operations, you must be very clear that we will be talking about certain themes. There are certain themes. And what kind of themes you can recall being a banker? In journal banking, we have certain themes, right? What are those themes? So, the themes can be various. Let's just try to decipher the themes also. Since it's our first class, let's make an elaborate discussion, right? So in the journal banking, what all themes you can recall? Journal banking. So first theme will be your deposits, right? No doubt about that. Deposits will be the first theme. And in deposits, you should be aware that we have certain long-term deposits as well as certain short-term deposits also, right? Long-term, short-term, the CASA as well as your FDRD, they are divided here. Then how to operate these deposits, how you operate these deposits will be your second theme, fine? The actual operation which is happening, fine? How you operate these deposits. First thing will be cash. Another one, the another channel which is out there in the open is your check. Okay, fine. So these are primarily two themes for your journal banking. Along with that, we also have a separate domain altogether, which is the foreign exchange operations, commonly known as forex operations. Right? So these are the major themes, major highlights of journal banking. And when we talk about our syllabus, some more themes have been added. Like for once, you can add the laws pertaining to your banking industry, right? The laws which determine the banking industry. But these laws will be covering in module B as well. So we cannot say that it only belongs to journal banking. We have the laws in journal for the entire banking industry. Fine. Also, there will be certain important organizations, or for that matter, bodies. And when we study module A, you will find that more or less all the chapters which are there in your module A, you can put them in these themes respectively. How? Let's see now. So when I talk about the basics, right, the basic function of bank, or for that matter, various themes which we have for the relationship, the banker-customer relationship, AML, KYC guidelines, operational aspects of KYC, then opening the account of various types of customers, various aspects of deposits, right? All these are what? These are a part of your journal banking, right? Journal banking, which we call as the theme 1 or the deposits. Then we have the operation, how we operate these deposits. First of all, it will be via handling or the collection, or you can say the cash. Along with that, we also have certain specific chapters for the cash management. So here we have the cash management services and its importance. Here only one important law is also there, that is your NIA Act. Then we have the next important operational theme, which is your payment, collection of checks and other negotiable instruments. In this only, you will be having the responsibility of paying bank, responsibility of collecting bank. Along with that, how you will be delivering these services? Via the ancillary services also. Banking services via the ancillary services as well. So more or less, when we talk about these aspects, which I have just told you, the cash collection, CTS, the cash management, then we have collection of checks, responsibility of paying bank, collecting bank, and ancillary services. We will be talking about what? The actual operational aspect, how the operations are happening. That is the second theme. Then we have the foreign exchange. Fine, the foreign exchange as a theme. So the theme of foreign exchange, we can have the foreign exchange remittance facilities for individuals, operational aspects of NRI business, foreign currency accounts for the residents, and some other aspects. Okay, so this will be the forex theme or the third theme in your module A. Fine. The remaining chapters like bankers special relation, financial inclusion, financial literacy, customer service guidelines, as well as duties and rights of banker and customer relations. You can directly club them in the journal banking only. And so more or less, there are broadly defined three themes. But when we talk about certain important organizations, certain laws, certain acts which are important, you can club them, these three, as the final theme of your module A under the head of journal banking operation. The grievance redressal, the RBI OS scheme 2021, then we have Customer Protection Act 2019 and RTI Act 2005. Now, since you are a beginner, you have just started your preparation, you might feel that these chapters are huge. Fine, the number of chapters are very much to handle. But if you club them into specific themes, you will find the interlinkage, you will find the interrelationship between these chapters, and ultimately whatever question is being asked from these particular chapters in module A, you will be able to solve them. Okay, so first thing first, which you have to keep in mind, try to interrelate as much as you can. Okay, fine. We know right now we do not have any WhatsApp group, right? So if we'll create one, then I'll definitely share the link. Okay, till here, any doubt, any kind of doubt you have? Module A. Done. Next we have module B. Again, in module B also, you can have various themes, but the number of themes are very much less. Fine. The topics are limited here, I would say. How they are limited? Because we are either talking about the fund-based facility or the non-fund-based facility. Fund-based facilities where the bank is providing you some money to run your business, or for that matter, whatever your need is. Non-fund-based facility, the bank is not providing you money, but instead it is either providing guarantee or for that matter, looking for the TPGs. Right? If we are not providing any kind of money, it is termed as non-fund-based facility. So these two themes, or for that matter, these two segments are there in the entire module B, except for the last few chapters which talk about the government schemes. Okay, so module B overall, we can say that it talks about the advances section plus the government schemes. Okay, and when we talk about the actual name of module B, it is the functions of banks. Functions of bank. So what we have learned from the November 2025 exam cycle is that you should be well versed with the updates. Right? You cannot ignore the updates anymore. And this particular module is heavily inclined towards recent guidelines. Whatever RBI has provided the recent guidelines, they become automatically important as per the requirement of the module B topics. Okay, so we'll be starting off with the basics. Principles of lending. What are the basic principles of lending? The credit, 7 C's, how we see them, why the various components have been clubbed together for studying, for making the credit management a better theme for the overall functioning of the bank. So principle of lending, different types of borrowers, the types of credit facilities, fund-based, non-fund-based facility, what is the actual meaning, what are the examples, we'll be learning here. Appraisal assessment of credit facility, more or less from here in the second chapter of your module B only, you can expect numericals. Fine. So your numerical journey will begin from module B only. And when we talk about the other chapters, so operational aspects of loan accounts, what all guidelines are there for your recovery, what all guidelines are there for rehabilitation, fine. All these are covered in your unit number 3rd of module B. Then the most important part is types of collaterals, their characteristics, and different modes of charging the securities, how the security has been charged in a particular account. Because we have seen that various types of accounts are there which are linked to different types of securities. In gold loan, like we have pledge, fine, where the security rests with the lender, that is bank, and the loan is provided to the customer. But on the other hand, in case of hypothecation, you have car loan where the asset lies or resides with the customer and the loan is ongoing. So what are the differences, points of differences, why we choose a particular type of security over the others in a specific loan account, that we'll be studying here. Then we have documentation, how the documentation is done for all the loans. Plus, from here, you can expect good amount of questions, that is NPA management. So starting off with the definition of NPA, then how the stressed assets are classified, what do we mean by doubtful category 1, 2, 3, when we will be classifying a particular account into SMA 1 category, the special mentioned accounts, what are those, all these things we'll be looking into this chapter. Then comes the laws part, important laws related to recovery of dues. You will find IBC 2016 is in news right now. So although it is not exhaustively mentioned in your syllabus, but being an aware banker, you must know the basics of that also. So more or less, SURFACI Act is the most important act here when we talk about this chapter, and we'll be studying it in an exhaustive manner. Then we have contracts, various types of contracts, bank guarantee, contract of indemnity, we'll be studying them also. Then the letters of credit. Now this chapter, every year, IIBF asks 2 to 3 questions, direct questions from the letter of credit. Last time, as far as I remember, they have asked the numerical question. So you can have both types of questions from here. Numerical questions pertaining to the particular process of letters of credit, and when you talk about the data-based or multiple statement-based questions, the types of LC from their question can be asked. Then DPG, deferred payment guarantee, what is the purpose, method of the payment, laws related to bill finance, how we will be providing the finance for a particular bill, whether the banks provide it or not. If yes, then how they will be proceeding over a period of time. Personal finance, be it credit card, home loan, consumer loans, this particular aspect, although it is a part of PPB, but elaborate discussion will be done in RBWM subject. Then the most important chapter everywhere, this chapter wherever it is mentioned, it is highly important. It is there in IFS also, RBWM also, in your PPB also, and sometimes we can say that in AFM they can ask you some question directly or indirectly from the priority sector advances, how you calculate various you can say financial ratios if they want to link with the AFM subject. But here in PPB, mostly the questions are asked from the ANBC calculation. How you will be calculating the adjusted net bank credit, that is the question which is asked for 2 marks on regular basis, either in the May exam or in November examination. Then agri finance is also there. So the credit domain, as I was telling you, the advances section plus the government schemes, advances section for the agricultural domain is also there. Agri finance to MFIs, the microfinancial institution co-lending arrangements with NBFCs. And when we talk about the NBFCs, the chapter of NBFCs is there. Mostly the question is asked from the scale-based finance. Fine. So net owned fund must be increased to what level a particular table is there. So from there, every time IIBF asks question. So we'll be learning about the NBFCs in detail in IE and IFS. Fine. But how the actual operation commences in these NBFCs, we'll be learning in module B of PPP. Then MSME is also there in your PPB module B. And when we talk about the most important aspect, MSME schemes is important, as well as the classification, which everybody knows, I hope. Lastly, the schemes part, government sponsored schemes, the day NRLM, NULM, PMJDY, the Mudra scheme, and we have the SHG also, the self-help group. So all these topics, the important topics which you should not miss while covering the module B. Obviously, today is your first class, so you won't be able to comprehend much because you have not studied them. But once you know that how the flow of your subject should look like, then it will be much easier to start off your journey once the official chapters begin. Next, we have module C, the banking technology. Here, most of you will be struggling. Why I'm saying that you will be struggling? Because of the type of questions. Fine. IBF asks very tricky questions here, but if you have the basics clear, then there won't be any difficulty. So it starts off with the essentials of bank computerization, the core banking, network technologies in bank, how the banking technology works, how it started in India when you talk about the CBS or Finacle solutions. Then operational aspects of CBS environment, end of day, beginning of day, password control, all these topics, the journal topics will be covering. The actual or the real difficult questions will be from here, this chapter, alternate delivery channels. Fine. IIBF asks quite tricky questions related to your turnaround time, especially for the digital banking or for that matter, ATMs. Then data communication, network and the EFT system. Here, more or less the data communication within our country, that is India, plus the global integration of this data communication will be asked. And most of the time we have seen that question from SWIFT is there, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. Then digital payment system, starting off with the NPCI, how the NPCI has worked over a period of time. Starting off 10 years back, what was the situation in our country pertaining to the digital banking, how it has evolved since then, and what are the advances here, fine, what all latest guidelines of RBI as well as the latest schemes devised by the government of India. So digital payment systems, a very important chapter, I would say, when you talk about PPB subject. Impact of technology adoption and trends in banking technology. See, impact is a very theoretical term, a very theoretical topic from where questions can be asked, but mostly they ask from the trends in banking technology, where you will find that how it has evolved from only cash, then we have the EFT, after that we have the net banking, then digital banking, and now we are moving towards the UPI. Okay. Then security consideration and mitigation measures in bank. When you talk about the security of our system, you must be knowing that IT Act, the Information Technology Act, has been amended twice thanks to the cyber frauds which are happening in our cyberspace for your banking industry. And the government is very much serious when it comes to these cyber crimes. How they are tackling these particular situations, that we'll be learning under this chapter, specifically the IS, information system, its audit as well as the security part. Operational aspects of cyber crimes, fraud risk management in cyber, the fraud versus crime debate. This is just a debate, but when we talk about the overall chapter, it will give you a good insight that how a particular information technology must have the right framework. If it is not having the right framework, it is prone to such frauds. Then technology trends in banking, e-rupee, fintech, regtech, subtech, hashtag banking, etc. All these new terms will be there in your module C. So digital payment system and the last chapter, both these clubbed together, maximum questions are asked from here, right? When you talk about the easy questions also, they can ask, but mostly we have seen because of this latest trends, the particular examination becomes difficult, or for that matter, the questions from module C students find difficult to solve. Okay, till here, any other doubt you have? All of you who are watching on YouTube as well as in the portal, any kind of doubt? Okay, fine. So next we have the module D, ethics in banking and financial institution. Now this is the module from where we will be starting our discussion. Fine. The first class will be of module D only. So ethics in banks and financial institution. We will be covering it end to end in such a manner that after the chapter wise coverage is over, you will be able to solve any kind of question whatsoever. Fine. So we'll be starting the classes from Monday, and this will be the first module which will be targeting. Then we'll be moving towards module C and then A and B. So ethics in banks, let's have a brief overview today because we'll be starting with the classes on Monday only. So we'll be having exhaustive discussion then and there, but let's have a overview. So it starts with the ethics, business ethics and banking. And when we talk about business and ethics, it is indeed an oxymoron term because whenever there is a discussion of business, it talks about profit, right? Only profit, capitalistic mindset. But in ethics, if you want to club the capitalistic mindset with ethics, which is for the society also, fine. Ethics talks about what your values, your morals, and they are integrated with the social values as well. So that is why it's a contradictory term, which we'll be discussing that how this contradictory term is defined in module D, specifically in your first chapter. What is the perspective? Why we will be studying this? Okay. So integrated perspective will be looking into the ethics, basic definition, business ethics, what is the difference, and how we will be relating it to the banking system. Then ethics at individual level. Now, why individual level? Because IIBF wants to test you as a banker that how you react in a particular case. And this is the chapter from where, along with the next chapter, chapter 2 and 3 of your module D, you will find case studies. Right? Real life case studies will be there. And that is the reason I was telling you that students find the module D a bit tricky. Fine, individual level, morality, we have the personal conflicts, what do we mean by the values, the individual values, etc. Ethical dimensions for the employees. When we talk about the ethical dimension, always remember it starts with your human resource management, because the only department which we have in our banks relating to, or you can say directly correlating the banking system with an individual, is the human resource department, that is HRD. How HRD is providing the services so that the ethics in the banking system is maintained, that is all what we'll be learning in your chapter number 3. Fine. Next, the overall behavior of an employee and how this overall behavior is integrated over a period of time, over a series of behaviors, and we have different concepts from there. Like for one example, if I would have to give you, then it will be the whistle blowing. How the whistle blowing works, what are the benefits for the whistleblower, what is the benefit for the overall society when we talk about the whistleblowing, and what are the implications for the workplace. All these things we'll be learning in the chapter number 4. Lastly, the banking ethics, we'll be talking about the IPRs, mostly intellectual property rights. They are the most important topic when we talk about the last chapter. So the changing dynamics, how the banking ethics works. Earlier, the concept, although psychological concept only, the philosophical concept only, but how we have integrated it with real life, and lastly to the banking industry. All these things we'll be learning in the module D. Okay. Fine. So this was a brief discussion about module A, B, C, and D, how you should approach, how we will be approaching. And now when we talk about the exact things which you should keep in mind, apart from the syllabus coverage, it would be that you should go through the exam analysis. Fine. Always remember, whenever you are starting for any exam, any XYZ exam, you should know the basics. You should know the past trends. Fine. In the past, what type of questions have been asked, and that you can learn via the exam analysis. So still you have 2 days with you, Saturday and Sunday. we'll be starting off the classes from Monday. So in these 2 days, what you can do, go to the YouTube channel, that is JAIIB CAIIB English Medium. There you will find the exam analysis sessions of your November 2025 examination. Directly you can see the PPB sessions for more clarity. Although if you have listened to this particular lecture quite diligently, then there is no need as such to go and see. But if you have curiosity that what kind of questions are asked, definitely it is highly recommended. Then you should identify easy module for you. After this discussion, I'm pretty much sure that most of you must have their favorite modules. Some bankers must be thinking that module B is doable since I'm working in the credit profile. For some, module A will be interesting because they are working in the deposits section. And for those students who belong to the economic background, or for that matter, the background of philosophy or the arts background, humanities background, they will find the module D very, very interesting. Why? Because somewhere down the line in their throughout education, they must have learned the topic or the subject of ethics. For module C, it's the journal module. The journal topics are there. When we talk about the real life topics, which we are also using as an individual, like the QR codes, or for that matter, digital banking, how the evolution is ongoing. So module C, more or less, everybody will be comfortable from the day one itself. So like that, you should identify the easy module for you and try to cover it as soon as possible. Right? We'll be covering the classes at a good pace. Right? Neither it will be too high nor it will be too less. A moderate pace will be there. Whatever doubts you have, you can directly ask me or Aman ma'am for that matter whenever the classes are ongoing. And still, one more thing I want to emphasize here. If you are very much clear in your mind that I will be a consistent student throughout, then also there can be one issue. What is the issue? That we are not practicing enough. Okay. Only attending the classes won't reap you the maximum benefit. If you want to have 80% marks in the examination, then you must solve the mock test, be it the unit-wise mock test or for that matter full-length mock test. What should be your approach? First of all, see the particular lecture. Right? Let me just tell you briefly the approach which you should follow. The right approach to this particular exam. This approach works for all the subjects. So step 1 should be for all the paid subscribers that watch live class. Right? This should be your motto. Okay, do not miss the live class. There will be recordings also, but if you have the leverage of watching the classes live, then you should do it, because here your doubts will be resolved in real time. Okay, you won't be wasting any minute. Then step 2 should be going through the PDF. After the lecture is over, from where we will be studying in the lecture, like right now we are studying through a particular PPT that will be uploaded in your portal. So download the PDF and try to revise. Okay, if you have no doubts in the live class or the recorded format of that class, then you can directly jump onto the PDF and start revising. How many times you should revise? I would recommend twice. Revision 1 then and there, second revision on weekly basis. Then step 3 should be mock test. Fine, mock test. I am assuming that more or less, barring certain topics in module A and B, you will be having the complete coverage of at least one unit in a week. Fine, that is the minimum what I am assuming. Fine, so do try to attempt the mock tests on regular basis. As and when your revision is over and the chapter itself is also over, jump to the mock test. And this particular exercise you must do at least, I'm saying at least weekly, right? At least weekly. That means one mock test per 7 days. That should be your aim. These are the 3 steps which you should follow in the particular class, right? So this is the right approach via which you can score maximum marks. Okay. Now some students ask that whether I should make notes or not. Fine. That is also one of the common query. So see, I would recommend that you have the PDF with you. Okay, after revising, if you feel that there are certain topics which I find difficult, so try to highlight in this particular PDF only. There is no need to make notes here. But once you solve the weekly mock test, I mean minimum one mock test, I am assuming you will be solving weekly. So once you solve the weekly mock test, then whatever errors you have, whatever problems you faced in that particular mock test, whatever questions were wrong there, that you must add in this PDF, right? So this should be the consolidated PDF containing the notes from the live class as well as your scribble from the weekly mock test. Okay. So this PDF you should have as the base PDF for your preparation till May 2026. Right? So this is the plan. This is the right approach if you want to crack this exam in the first attempt itself. Right? So this was it for today's class. Now, if you have any doubt, feel free to ask me. Let's take doubts one by one. Anything regarding the application or for that matter, the classes, the schedule, whatever doubts you have. So here is the tentative schedule also. So most probably the syllabus, okay, this is just a tentative plan, but yes, the aim is to complete the syllabus by March end, right? March end or first week of April. Although this is just a tentative schedule, but yes, that's how we'll be approaching. Okay, so module D will be starting off, then module C, then A, and then B. Yes, for all those who are watching on YouTube, there's a link given in the chat section. Once you will click on that link, you have the access to this particular course. Right? You can buy it out on our website, that is Adda247, and this is the website which we have here. All courses, JAIIB CAB, JAIIB 2026. So Increment Mahapack is also there, as well as in JAIIB Mahapack only. So what is the difference between these two? In JAIIB Mahapack, you will find every course, whatever we will be coming up in the future also, be it the crash course or the revision classes, as well as the full-length mock test. Here in Increment Mahapack, you will get the Mahapack as well as the increment box, where the physical books will also be there for your practice purpose. And if you want the solo batch, that is Increment Batch 2.0 for English medium, just click here and you can buy it out, the buy now, using the coupon code that is Y1003, which is being highlighted on YouTube screen also. Right? So this is the coupon code which you can apply for maximum discounts. Okay, Sri Lakshmi, thank you for attending the class. Any other doubt? See, make a habit of asking n number of doubts. Okay, whatever doubts, small, big, or for that matter, if you have particular experience of yours which you want to share with us, that also. Once you start interacting with the faculty, na, then things will get interesting. One second, let me just share the Telegram link. Okay, so this is the Telegram group's link, and you can directly join after navigating through here. Yes, from Monday. Dinesh, for PPB module C and D, which I'll be taking up, there will be only Telegram group because I have prepared the Telegram group itself. Okay, fine. Any other doubt? Plus, if you have any kind of issue which you are facing on the application, or for that matter, if you have any journal doubt, you can ask me on the Telegram as well, and after the class is over. Okay, thank you, Jacinta, for attending the class. Thank you, everybody, for attending the session. Still, if you have any doubt, feel free to ask me on Telegram. Else, we'll be catching up on Monday with the module D. So if you have time, go through the exam analysis of November 2025 exam. If not, then we'll be covering that for you. Okay, so all the best, everybody. Try to go through the syllabus once if you can, and we'll meet on Monday with the module D. All the best.